Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about my 3 most important elements to a more consistent golf swing. All right guys, so let's talk about my 3 most important elements to a more consistent golf game. As Mary and I talk about topics that we want to talk about and videos we want to do, undoubtedly consistency, right, is one of the things that comes up the most amongst you guys and what you want to hear about and see about. You want to know, hey, how do I get a more consistent golf swing? How do I make my swing more consistent day to day? How do I take that onto the golf course, right? How do I make my game more consistent? And there are answers to those things, and there are 3 steps to this process, right? So for me, the people that I've coached, whether it be in person or online or that I've talked to, the process kind of always follows the same steps. And those 3 elements we've realized are in all of them. Step number 1 to having a more consistent golf game undoubtedly starts with your swing mechanics, okay? There's no getting around that. There's no fancy magic where you can have poor swing mechanics and have a great golf game. It just doesn't happen, okay? Do you know what good golfers all have? They have good mechanics. They might not all look perfect, but they have good mechanics. People who don't play as well, guess what? They have not as good mechanics, okay? This is not rocket science. So mechanics is part number 1. How do you get more consistent? Well, really there's a couple of variables to that. Part number 1 is you need to understand how to analyze your golf swing. Okay, what I mean by that is if you're hitting balls in the range and you're recording yourself or you're seeing a ball flight pattern, if you don't know why you're getting the shots you're getting, that also means you're not going to know how to fix the shots you're getting. My personal golf game and my ability to teach others to get better has improved exponentially as my knowledge has gotten better. Why is that? Because I actually pick the right things. I understand why bad things happen in my swing and other swings, and it's easier to fix. So you have to improve your mechanics is element 1. And there's a specific process to me you have to go through. You have to be able to analyze your swing, like I said. And if you can't do it and you can't learn how to do it yourself, you need to enroll someone that knows how to do that. I'm telling you, I can do that, but I'm not the only one of me. There's a lot of me. Other people can help you too. A golf coach can help you, hopefully, look at your swing, identify the issues, pick the root cause things, and get to work. That's part number 1. Part number 2 is you need to practice correctly. Even if you know what to work on, you start doing that full speed, full swing, and base everything just on the ball flight, you are going to have the same swing flaws forever. They are not going to change. One thing I found to be true for sure over the past 15 years is you need to practice slow and short, okay? This isn't a practice video per se, but what I'm talking about is I will always do half swings at about 20% speed. If I can't do it at half swing at 20%, why in the world would I swing faster or longer? I wouldn't, okay? It doesn't make any sense, but that's what we all do. You wouldn't learn a language any other way. Every time you learned how to walk or run, it never happened like that. You go slow, you go short. There's no getting around that, okay? Accept that for what it is. And you build your way up, okay? After you analyze your swing, you go slow and short. You do it at 20% at this length. When you're successful then, you go to here and then you lengthen. All the while you're lengthening your swing, you're still only going 20%, okay? And not until you can master that do you go to 30 and then 40 and then 50, you get the point, all the way up to 80 or 100%. That's gonna take some time. Your swing flaws are gonna come back in. Don't be emotional about it. Get over that. Give yourself enough feedback, get back in there, and then just keep fixing it, short and slow. If you watch yourself and you're surprised over time at progress, that means you're not giving yourself enough feedback along the way, okay? I'm never surprised because I look at it all the time. So analyze your swing, pick out the root causes, practice slow and short, and take your time. That's part number 1 to having a more consistent golf game. If your mechanics are no good or you don't practice good, you ain't getting consistency. The next 2 factors don't matter as much. So that is what it is, okay? We have a lot of videos on how to work on your mechanics. Hopefully those are helping you. The second part of this process is mindset. And when I say mindset, I really mean what you think on the course. Consistency really stems from a lack of thought. If you think about this with me, when you woke up this morning, when you brush your teeth, hopefully you brush your teeth, you didn't think about brushing your teeth, yet you are remarkably consistent in how you brush your teeth every single day. when you drove to your car, the way you started it, how you put your hands on the wheel. You don't think about that at all. It's habitual, and you are remarkably consistent. I get dressed the same way. I put my shoes on the same way. I cook my eggs the same way every morning. We are remarkably consistent when we're not thinking. Only when conscious thought comes in do we get inconsistent. I say this all the time to people in person. If I were to record your swing, 100 swings in a row, and we watched them, and I didn't tell you which was which, you wouldn't be able to pick them out because you would look exactly the same in all 100. You wouldn't even know. Why? Because you are inherently consistent. If your ball's going offline, it's because you're maybe consistently shitty. Okay, your mechanics consistently aren't good. The way to improve that is better mechanics and then thought process. The point with thought process or mindset being, you need to know when to turn off. And when you go on the golf course, you need to replace those swing thoughts with a feel, with an external thought process, and be very in the moment. And we'll get into this later on, but that is a huge key when you go play, is mindset. And that's element number 2 to consistency, is mindset. That's not woo-wooey, like that is what it is. One of the easiest ways to change your mindset for me is to have a really simple swing feel and cue on the course. And that brings us, nice little transition by me, to number 3 of our essential pieces, which is tempo. Tempo, for me, that is swinging at the same rate of speed, is a remarkably important part of this. If I'm swinging faster or slower day to day or swing to swing, my ability to control how I hit the ball changes. Ideally, I want you at one tempo all of the time, and even more ideally, a controlled tempo. Thinking tempo when you're on the course, or smooth, or a count or number, is one of the things that always worked for me as a really nice on-course thought process. And there's 2 things within tempo that I do to train it and that I do with my students. There's 2 little things I use. And as always, when I'm showing you guys things here, I wouldn't show them to you unless I personally use them or I recommend them to my students. The orange whip trainer is one thing I use, and then the GFORCE trainer, I have the 7-iron here, is the other one I use. Orange whip I've been using for a while, and I use this specifically to train tempo when I practice and on the golf course. So for me, because I tend to not turn a ton when I go back, I like using the orange whip over a general club or 2 clubs together, because it's heavier and because it's whippy. I have to control the tempo. So I like using the orange whip to really make sure I get a big backswing and really make sure I get a good follow through. And I really like this as a warm-up drill. Really big backswing, really big follow through. So I love the orange whip for a warm-up piece on the range. I use it to train tempo. I use it pre-round, and I would recommend using it in all of your practice sessions as a pre-warm-up piece. Okay, so orange whip, we'll include the link in the description down below for the orange whip. And the second part is the GFORCE trainer. Now this I just started using this year. They have a 7-iron and a sand wedge. I love the sand wedge for chipping. We're gonna do a video on that in a little bit, but I think they're out of stock for a little bit. But the 7-iron I use. Now why do I use this? Because you can actually hit balls with it. So the same way that I like that orange whip, I like this GFORCE trainer. It's the same thing, big backswing turn, good tempo on the way through, and you can actually hit some shots with it, focusing on the same things. So I really have to make sure that I hit that a little off the toe. Good tempo when I go back, and really for me, big turn, longer backswing. And tempo is the number 3 part. So we'll put a link in the description for the GFORCE 2. I love the orange whip, like I said, for a little warm up. And I love the GFORCE to actually hit balls when you go play. I would recommend you train your tempo every practice session, probably in the beginning part or in the end before you go play. So guys, kind of talking rant style here, but 3 pieces, and you need all 3 of them, in my opinion, from my experience, to have a more consistent swing, whether it be here or on the course. You have to have better mechanics. That starts with analysis of your swing, picking the right pieces and practicing correctly. No way getting around that. Mindset is number 2. You are inherently very consistent when you don't think. I want you to think when you go play, but I want you to feel. I want you to feel things when you go play. And number 3 is tempo. To me, you have to have a good tempo. It doesn't mean you have to swing slow or fast, just swing the same rate when you go play all the time, preferably a little bit slower. I would train them pre-round with this and in session with this. So I like these a ton. Those are the 3 things that I want you to do to be more consistent. The 3 things I think you must do to be more consistent. Would love to talk more about this. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave a comment down below. If you want to come check it out, every Monday we're live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That consistency would be a good topic. We'll discuss that when we go Thank you guys. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video, please do us a favor, click the like button down below. Click the notification bell. Also, please subscribe. Another reminder, CogornoGolf.com is up and live. If you guys want more instruction from me tailored for you, check out the description and the link down below. Thank you.